Hello and welcome to the Biomass Magazine podcast. I'm your host, Anna Simet. I am here live at the International Biomass Conference and Expo in Nashville. I'm here with my friend, Edewards from Evergreen Engineering. Aaron, hello and welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. Evergreen Engineering, your favorite engineering firm.
It's one of the best.
It's good to be here. This show has grown. It's been great to see, and the energy out on the floor is terrific. I'm really pleased.
Love it. Well, Aaron, I think to start, let's have you tell people who aren't familiar a little bit about Evergreen Engineering and yourself.
So I am the business development director at Evergreen. We've got 40 years now in the industry, biomass, wood products, anything forestry, and we've seen a lot of growth, a lot of very, very cool technologies come into the sector, wonderful people that we work with. I say all the time, I don't say it to my boss, but I do it for free. I love our industry. I love what we do. I love bringing what we do to the table. So this has been the show's been integral into our success in terms of the people that we know and rub elbows with here. So it's great to be here.
It's a lot of the same faces year after year, and I think it's pretty special.
It is. The relationships that you develop, and it's an industry that people look out for each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the connector voice is always there. Hey, you should talk to, and they're
Totally.
here, and you can put together a whole deal out on the floor today.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about industry evolution. You know, you said you've been in this industry for 15 years, and you've been attending the IBC in almost all of them. What are the most significant changes that you've seen, in terms of project scale, technology, and just the overall mindset during that time?
You know, it's cool you say scale. We've brought to market a number of projects, and initially, early on, it was a different scale.
Mm-hmm.
You still see pilot plants, but you just operate on a scale now that you hear people say 50 megawatts.
Yeah.
5 megawatts was are you sure we can do that? What about those volumes? And that it's really changed. Obviously, seeing the maturity in the wood pellet industry,
Yes.
combined heat and power, the way that people approach those projects, the people that are here that are providing the technologies for those, it's no longer taking a flyer on something.
Mm-hmm.
The industry can finance those projects. The vendors that are here and the technology providers and the construction companies, certainly the engineers, are well versed now in bringing any one of those projects to market.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good segue to my next question. So, Aaron, when you look at the current pipeline of biomass projects, what trends stand out in terms of geography, scale, and the types of feedstocks that are being prioritized?
The scale component of that is unprecedented, and it's because I think not only data centers, but they play a huge role. That
Mm-hmm.
certainly is the buzz this year, and I think will
It
be
is.
into the future. But you've got the pellets were the end all be all. We're all hoping that we can be the next producer. We're all hoping that we can build the next large scale facility. Well, as that's slowed down or appears to have the beginnings of a slowdown, I think we do have some shifts. Regionally, you're looking in certainly in Northeast Canada, they're looking at domestic use. They're looking at bringing a black pellet to market for power. You've got folks that are discussing massive
Just testing out some equipment over there.
and more than
Yeah, big pauses. Here you go.
massive installations of more than 50 megawatts and tremendous amounts of redundancy in looking at a data center power solution. You've got power storage, and in the Salt River project has both lithium and non-lithium storage projects. That is a tremendous boon for the people here in this room. You also have in the consolidation and the changing hands of some of the facilities that are in the U.S., be it pulp and paper, traditional wood products, as European ownership comes in, they have a different mandate from their shareholders and from their ownership and from even their constituency to introduce green power and adhere to that in a way that traditionally, when we say, okay, does this pencil out? It doesn't matter. That's what they're doing. Another thing that we've seen, and this is on tribal lands and in traditional areas, and then also more remote areas, is a striving for energy independence,
Hmm.
which is another new paradigm. We have
It is.
some project managers as they run the numbers and they say, that's going to cost you whatever it is, 11, 12, 13 cents a kilowatt hour. And, that doesn't pencil out. And they're like, I don't care. I don't care. What I'm striving for isn't to save money here, it's to be energy independent.
Mm.
And microgrids and all of those things that come to bear around that. So that's been a cool, for us, shift in being a further driving force in the industry and deploying technologies. And then another thing is, regionally, California has its energy crisis.
Mhm.
They are incentivizing all kinds of things, and they're at a different scale. They're those 5 megawatt plants and just for your use type situations.
Yep.
The Northeast is weatherproofing. Florida's got sugar and fast growing crops. So it's really kind of a fun puzzle to put together and what works where, and those regional drivers do make a big difference.
Hmm. That's an interesting perspective. Love it. So, what patterns are you seeing among companies considering converting to biomass? And then, what would you say are the key drivers, whether it's economic, regulatory, sustainability related, behind those decisions?
One of the things, from a driver standpoint, certainly if you don't fit on the grid, right? And that,
Yeah.
again, listen, fifth time to say data center, but it is the data centers. But it also is peaking in wood products. Mills that have tremendous peaking or can't confine their use of significant power to off hours are being encouraged to find their own uh, on-site power and
Mhm.
outside of the grid. So that's a driver.
Yeah.
Certainly the economics of our residuals used to go to this paper mill and we can't send them there anymore. That pile becomes an issue.
Hmm.
They start to explore, should I be producing power? Should I be producing a woody biomass fuel? Is there some other technology that can be brought to bear? And we're doing studies like that for a number of companies right now because their residuals are becoming the big issue.
Right.
So they end up having an internal tipping fee, and that becomes an economic driver for them and
Mm.
makes something that might not have been feasible last year or the year before suddenly very, very attractive.
Right. Okay. So let's pivot a little bit to technology providers. As more companies explore or commit to biomass, how is that influencing the innovation and offerings that we're seeing from technology providers, say on this trade show floor?
Sure. Well, not to call out a name, but Dane is doing a turnkey, right, with his CHP, and that's, I think, reflective a little bit of the market. So many people, when they start down the path of a project and they turn to whatever, sometimes they turn first to engineering, which I always encourage, and they say, "Can you do the whole thing?" And they're saying it to the pellet mill producers, and they're saying it to the boiler producers, and they're saying whatever their entree is, whoever they think to ask first, they will say, "Can you do the whole thing?" And so what we have kind of come up with just organically on the floor is where we turn to one another and say, "Hey, can you do this install? What if we use your boiler? What if we use your conveyors? What if we use your dryer?" And all of the pieces are here.
Hmm.
And just through that cooperation, and it's usually the construction company that then wraps it because they can bond it. But
Yeah.
where we really can, through relationships out here on the floor, do a turnkey, provide a client with an end-to-end solution, and to them it's a seamless thing, and it's
Yeah.
just because we've all done it before and we've done it together. It's great.
Right. I love that. Okay, let's look a little bit into the future. Who are the key players successfully bringing on biomass power today? And how do you see growing demand, especially from sectors like data centers and industrial users, shaping the market over the next 5 to 10 years?
It's been really encouraging that the data centers are open to it and exploring it.
Hmm.
The ones that are in place, hey, we're doing it now, pulp and paper for sure. They are sitting on a pile of chips. They're sitting on a
Yep.
boiler. They can do it. End to end, they can do it. It's the it's kind of the middle ground of not massive data center, but not small internal use only, that I think is a cool place America's poised to grow.
Hmm.
Smaller municipalities, especially remote, especially with forestry and forest debris nearby, that I would love to see that growth. And I'm seeing California again, the exploratory questioning about it. Can we utilize our biomass? Can we take forest cuttings? Can we bring this in? Can we produce our own power? Can this be part of our greening or our adding to jobs or our economic development? And so that 30 megawatt plant, I really want to see the public will and then the governance come together and make those kind of things happen. I really am hopeful that that's a feasible and possible thing in the next 5 years.
Love it. Well, thanks, Aaron. Anything else that you want to add before we wrap it up besides a shout out to Alicia Gibson,
Couldn't be more proud.
Evergreen Engineering? She won our first Women in Biomass Award.
She did, and she deserves it. She has been an innovator and somebody who's brought so many projects, helped so many people here on the floor
Hmm.
bring those to bear. I couldn't be more proud of her, and to see her recognized like that is a real treat.
A lot of them nominated her, so very deserving. You got some great folks at Evergreen.
We do. I'm proud to represent them. We'd love to work with anybody on a biomass project.
Well, Aaron, thanks so much. It was great catching up. So thanks for coming on the podcast.
Always a treat. Thank you, Anna.
Yeah. And to our viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed this episode. We'll catch you later.